Boy21 by Matthew Quick is a book about a boy named Finley and his girlfriend Erin. The beginning of the story mainly focuses on Erin and Finley's love for basketball. Then the story takes a turn when Finley's basketball coach asks him to help out a kid named Russ, whose parents have just passed. Russ moves into Belmont as Boy21, who is a persona that Russ created to help cope with his parents' death. This character lives in outer space and plans to travel back home and live with his family. Finley spends a big portion of his time trying to help Russ, just as his coach asks. Finley having to deal with Russ became harder when Finley's girlfriend got hit by a car. This incident moved him into a dark space in his life, and he started to become more distant with the basketball team and eventually quit. Finley loved Erin and to show his love, he would visit her in the hospital, but Erin never let him see her. Finley became confused and hurt and started to wonder why things were going the way they were. The object that Quick was trying to get across was that if you find something you are meant to be with, you should be with them. When Finley had the choice to be with Erin, he made the right decision. He would have been terribly lonely the rest of his time at Belmont without her. The subject matter of love and belonging definitely appeals to teens who are coming of age. Most coming-of-age novels focus on relationships, or at least touches on them, and this story revolves around Finley and Erin's love for one another. Even though Erin didn't want to see Finley, he went to her every single day, which was one of the sweetest and most touching aspects of the book. One of the arguments that Quick asked the reader to consider was whether or not Finley should have helped Russ because he easily could have said no to Coach, or that he didn't feel comfortable. Finley had a big responsibility to help out Russ, but he also had to focus on basketball. Finley is a quiet, introverted guy, but because of his morals and his coach's influence, he did what was necessary to help Russ. The other argument was whether or not Finley should have moved to live with Erin. Finley got a letter from Erin wondering if he would go to live with her. On one side, Finley loved Erin and would love to spend the rest of his life with her. But on the other hand, Finley wanted to be with Pop and his dad for the rest of his life and feared for them getting hurt by the Irish Mafia. Finley chose to live with Erin, which is the best decision because he wouldn't have had a good life in Belmont. He also could have started his new basketball career in the new town because with the team in Belmont, he quit the team in Belmont and basketball was his number one hobby. Quick's book does a great job demonstrating the moral character of Finley and how he was torn between basketball, Erin, and helping Russ. I thought the book Boy21 was a simple book that was way shorter than it should have been. Towards the end of the book, Quick started to fumble. It seemed like he wanted to wrap the book up. Quick never got into detail about Russ's coping skills with Boy21, so therefore the reader was confused about how Russ fully got over his persona. I feel that if we went to therapy with Russ once, we would have really understood how he got over Boy21. In conclusion, Boy21 is a great read and I recommend this book to ages 12 to 19. This book is a coming-of-age book and focuses on a relationship between two high school students, Finley and Erin, who are drawn to each other through their common love of basketball. When a boy named Russ comes into their school, Finley basketball coach asks Finley to help Russ, and they become close friends. Finley loves Russ like a brother and helps him through the good and bad. This book is an emotional look at the difficulties kids face in balancing their sense of obligation to friends, coaches, love interest, and being true to themselves in the meantime. It is a good book and I highly recommend to the 12 to 19 crowd.